This week, we received some much needed positive updates regarding the potential for cruising to restart in the United States, along with more insight regarding future ships and more fleet announcements. There were certainly plenty of cruise news. Don't worry if you missed any of the headlines, as we're here to help. I'm DB from EatSleepCruise.com and catch up with all of the major updates in this week's cruise news for all the major cruise lines. The major cruise lines finally had their say. The deadline to submit comments to the Center for Disease Control regarding the resumption of cruising in the US was this past Monday, September 21st. So it was no surprise that earlier that day, we finally received the Healthy Sail Panel recommendations. This joint venture from Royal Caribbean Group and Norwegian Cruise Holdings submitted a 65-page report. This impressive report included 74 recommendations for improving the health and safety of guests, crew, and the locations cruise ships visit. As promised, the Healthy Sail Panel report is publicly available as an open source document. Also on Monday, officials from Carnival Cruise Line, Princess Cruises, and CLIA submitted similar plans and recommendations. Among the suggestions, these documents call for testing of passengers before boarding a cruise ship. In addition, the cruise lines agreed that facial coverings should be worn by passengers in interior spaces except while eating or drinking in a seated position. Other protocols included reduced passenger capacity, increased sanitation, daily temperature checks, and limitations on going ashore in ports of call to cruise line approved excursions only. Now it's up to the CDC to review these recommendations and decide whether cruise ships can begin sailing with these modifications. The no-sail order is set to expire this Wednesday, September 30th. We are hopeful that the organization will lift the ban. Still, CLIA cruise lines have voluntarily suspended cruising until October 31st. Could we be on a cruise for the princess's birthday weekend of Halloween? Stay tuned for more details. Also last week, we learned that 2 Princess Cruises ships would be leaving the fleet. We speculated in our last cruise news update that some of the remaining Carnival Corporation ships to leave the fleet would be from Princess Cruises, and we were correct. The cruise line announced that both Sun Princess and Sea Princess had been sold. These departures are in line with the parent company's plan to accelerate the removal of less efficient ships from its fleet. Both ships were over 20 years old. Sun Princess and Sea Princess were popular ships in the South Pacific, offering cruises from Australia. Sea Princess was also one of Princess Cruises' ships that regularly offered world cruises. According to the company's website, the ship has traveled the equivalent of 35 times around the world. Princess Cruises has canceled all cruises that were being offered on the 2 ships through April 2021. Customers booked on these itineraries can receive a refund of all monies paid, or book guests can receive additional information on how to book a replacement cruise once the cruise line begins sailing again. With the future of the remaining 2020 cruise season still unknown, cruise lines are looking to change up future ship deployments. This week, Royal Caribbean International announced it was shifting several ships for the summer of 2021. In Europe, the cruise line is repositioning Adventure of the Seas to sail from Barcelona. While the ship was originally scheduled to offer Northern European cruises, it will now sail 4- and 5-night Mediterranean itineraries. These voyages include stops in Italy, France, and Spain. Also in Europe, Jewel of the Seas will now be offering 7-night cruises from Copenhagen and Stockholm. These cruises will be visiting Baltic Sea favorites such as Helsinki, Finland, Tallinn, Estonia, and Visby, Sweden. Further, the new Odyssey of the Seas will join Anthem and Harmony of the Seas, making its debut in Rome to kick off its inaugural European season. Closer to home, Royal Caribbean announced some changes to its Caribbean schedule. Perhaps the biggest change was repositioning Vision of the Seas to San Juan, Puerto Rico from Barcelona. The ship will be offering 7-night Southern Caribbean cruises, stopping at some of our favorite ports of call. Independence of the Seas will be moving to Miami, Florida to offer longer 6- to 8-night cruises instead of short 3- to 4-day sailings. Independence of the Seas will sail both Southern and Western Caribbean itineraries. Lastly, Brilliance of the Seas will now remain in Tampa, Florida, and offer locals a variety of 4-, 5-, and 7-night cruises to the Caribbean. Also last week, Norwegian Cruise Line released a number of 2022 and 2023 cruise itineraries. After all, it's never too early to begin planning a trip. In the Bahamas and the Caribbean, Norwegian Cruise Line will have 7 ships offering cruises from 5 different home ports, with ships offering 3, 4, 5, and 7 to 11 night cruises. There's bound to be an itinerary that's ideal for your family. The cruise line will have 3 ships in the Mexican Riviera, including Norwegian Joy and Norwegian Bliss, offering 5, 7, and 8 night cruises to popular ports in the region. These sailings are perfect for West Coasters. Several ships will also be offering Mediterranean and Greek Isle cruises. Among our favorites is a 7-night sailing on Norwegian Jade, which visits a new locale each day, stopping in ports in Greece, Turkey, and Israel. Some of the more interesting sailings Norwegian Cruise Line is offering include a 12-day African cruise on Norwegian Jade departing from Cape Town, South Africa. In addition, we love the 14-day round-trip cruise on Norwegian Star from Buenos Aires, Argentina, that visits Antarctica. One of the most anticipated new ships from Viking is Viking Mississippi. The innovators behind river cruising in Europe will be debuting its first US-based river cruise ship in 2022. Viking just announced they would be conducting a live stream event with the ship's designer this week. On Tuesday, September 29th at 2 p.m. Eastern, the company will be hosting designer Richard Revere. During this broadcast, viewers will learn more about Mr. Revere's inspiration and design details for Viking's first custom vessel built for the iconic Mississippi River. Also, the cruise line announced a very special Christmas cruise for 2022. The 8-day itinerary will travel from Memphis, Tennessee to New Orleans, Louisiana. Along the way, cruisers can marvel at Christmas light displays, dine on Cajun cuisine, and explore historic ports of call. In addition, guests will enjoy exclusive access to Graceland. During this special excursion, guests will experience a private visit, including a tour of the mansion and exhibits. And there you have it. That's the latest cruise news updates from all the major cruise lines. But of course, we would love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments section below if there's any announcements or updates from the world of cruising that we missed. I'm DB from EatSleepCruise.com, and if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, or you've been lurking around for a while and haven't done so, what are you waiting for? Make sure to subscribe down below and to click the notification icon. That way you get updated each week when we put out brand new cruise and travel videos. You can also say hi to us all over social media at Eat Sleep Cruise, and thanks again for watching.